Spurs last week. I know it. It's the litmus test, mate. Neither Liverpool or City are going to win the league. Right. So we played Spurs, lost 2-0, convincing win for Spurs. I just think the table's like all over the place at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to follow the table every time there's games going on, and it's just like people that are in top 5 are now like down at 10, and like City were well above Man United now, complete switch. Like, yeah, it seems like it's all to play for. So it's quite interesting, but I don't know how it's going to play out basically. But I'm the bottom line is I'm not confident with City. You know, a draw at Liverpool, getting beaten by Spurs. I'm like, if you're losing those 2 games, you're not going to be winning the league, basically.
Yeah, well, you need to beat those 2 guys at least, right? If you want to win, hey,
for sure,
they're the ones, some of the ones to beat. So yeah, I agree. I feel like maybe because of the Champions League games and the sort of that EFL league, what is it called? Something Cup, whatever it is.
Carabao. Is it?
Carabao, that's it.
Yeah.
It feels like there's been more games played, Premiership games played, than there actually have.
Yeah,
it's actually
definitely
relatively early on, I guess, isn't there? So, yeah, because I remember a while ago when we needed to beat Chelsea, and if we beat them, they were about 5 spots above us. If we beat them, because they're only 2 points ahead, we would flip basically.
Right. Yeah.
So like it's just like there's just so much movement in the table. So I guess that will sort of settle down a bit as it goes on, right? But it's. I don't know. I'm not. I was kind of hoping just for a decent showing and for our manager not to get sacked. To be honest, that's mainly what I'm hoping. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
It's a good confidence season. Well done. I'm not even going to get started on the Bears because we're 5-5 now. Well and truly found out it's the same old story every single week. Now we're just looking, we're just looking to the draft pick in spring already, and it's like, well, that's no place to be before even before Thanksgiving, we're already looking to the draft. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah. Offense still sucks. Defense still carrying the team. Same old story. I'm not going to bore anyone else with that, with the same Bears drivel. How about the Seahawks?
I'm feeling okay. I was pretty down in the dumps last week because we had such a big lead. We've got a hard division, so Cardinals and Rams are doing really well.
Yeah.
And basically we'd lost every divisional... We lost against the Cardinals and we'd lost against the Rams.
Yeah.
So we'd beaten the 49ers, but everyone beats the 49ers, so that wasn't a big deal. Like Rams and Cardinals will beat them as well, so that doesn't matter. We need to beat our divisional rivals in order to win our division, right?
Yeah.
So we'd had a loss against each one of them, and then this week we had Cardinals again. And we managed to win it. So it was huge. So now, basically, we were undefeated for ages. We were leading the division. Last week, we were then drawing a 3-way draw. So we were all 6-3.
No way.
We were all 3 of us were 6-3 in the same division. And then you've got the NFC East, and they're like their highest scoring. They're like 5-5 or 5-4 at the time.
Yeah,
that's their highest team. And we're no, sorry, less than that.
Is that the one with
4
Is that the one with like Redskins and
yes,
yeah, the league that's the one that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
All 4 of them are rubbish. Yeah.
Sorry. I was giving them too much credit. So this is Eagles, Giants, Washington, and Cowboys. So Washington Redskins. Yes, Eagles, Giants, Redskins, Cowboys, and the highest wins 3. They're all drawing on 3 wins. All 4 of them.
And then your division's like the exact opposite.
And we were all drawing on 6, apart from the 49ers. So anyway, we win against the Cardinals, which is huge. So the Rams are on a bye week, so basically we're top again, 7-3, and then everyone else below us is on 6. So, and it was a confident win. It wasn't a Man U win where we sort of just weaseled our way through it. Like we
used
won,
VAR,
we deserved it. Yeah, exactly. We deserved to win it. Russell was good. Our running game. So this guy called Hyde, who basically we've had about 3 running backs, and all of them have been okay. And in the past, we've always been a running team, and we've used this guy called Marshawn Lynch back in the day. He's still going about, but he's very old now. Not with us, someone else. I can't remember who he's with now. Browns or... Anyway, doesn't matter. And this guy called Hyde just came out of nowhere, and he did so well. So we're kind of hoping maybe he can be our next Marshawn Lynch, be our next like star running back.
Nice.
And because we've already got some really good wide receivers, we just needed a good wide running back, and our tight ends are okay. But if we get him, if he carries on doing what he's doing, we're doing pretty well. So 7-3, I think is pretty good. I'm pretty confident we'll get into the first. I don't want to get wild card. The last like 2 or 3 years, we've been wild card in the postseason playoffs. So if we can get in because we're the best in our division, I'll be very happy.
Mate, I wanted to ask you a little question. I feel like there's a little bit of a tidbit of knowledge that we can impart to some listeners, perhaps, because you might remember recently I brought up the fact that I'd dug the pipe out. So I've been smoking the pipe a little bit. And I thought, people seem to like it if we give like little tidbits of information. I thought maybe you could run us past the basic method of packing one's pipe.
Interesting.
As hilarious as that sounds. Keep it light. Keep it after the gutter.
Go on. All right. All right. Okay. This is a good question. I think this is probably the hardest thing that. This is the biggest hurdle you have to get over if you start wanting to smoke a pipe. And just quickly, the benefits of smoking a pipe over other tobacco usages. It's a lot cheaper than cigars.
Yep.
And somewhat, and this is a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I've done a little bit of research, but somewhat healthier than cigarettes.
Due to the fact that you don't take anything down into your lungs, do you?
Exactly. There's no inhaling there. And in theory, obviously, don't do it as much as cigarettes. If you're doing it every day, it's still pretty bad for you. So that doesn't really matter. Anyway, never mind. You're not inhaling it, so it's better for your lungs, bad for your throat, bad for your mouth still. It's a risk you have to weigh up if you want to do it. Anyway, get rid of that. I don't know why I even brought that up. Anyway.
No, important. I like it.
You got to think about this stuff. It's all risks. It's the same with the COVID thing. Like it's you got to weigh out risks, and anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
Life's full of it. Same with alcohol as well, right?
Yes,
fatty foods.
Same with alcohol.
It's
the same.
Driving fast. Yeah.
Yeah, driving at a normal speed. Yeah. There's a pretty heavy risk. Yeah. Anyway, so cool. Packing the pipe. So there's 2 ways I've done it in the past. The first way is the sort of 3-layer technique. So basically, you fill your pipe up very loosely to the top. So you just put the tobacco in so that the chamber is full, but you haven't tamped it down whatsoever. It's just completely loose. Then you put a smaller amount of tobacco on top of that and push and tamp it down. It's still loose, but sort of like a medium thickness now. And then you take an even smaller bit, put that on top, and then tamp it down and basically you tamp that third amount of tobacco down until you get a nice draw. So you kind of want a similar draw, I would imagine, to maybe like a loose cigar. You want it to be cigar-like, but maybe not as tight as a nice cigar, like maybe a little bit looser than that. Yeah. And that's the easiest way, I would say. Just 3 layers. And always fill it up to the top. You don't have to smoke the whole thing, but it's easier to fill a pipe all the way up than it is to like half fill it, I find.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And that's called the three pack method, right? Or the 3 3 fill.
Exactly, 3-pack. You can YouTube it. There's actually a pretty massive YouTube community of people who smoke pipes, and they've got tons of information that know more than I do. There's another way that I actually use now, which is like, I think it's like someone's method, they call it Frank's method or John's method or something, which is where you fill it up again, same as before. So it's very loosely packed, and then you take basically a full bowl's worth again. You pinch it between 3 fingers. It's kind of hard to do over audio, but you've basically pinched the same amount you've put in, and obviously that's going to take trial and error as you learn how big your pipe is. But you take about the same amount you put in, you put it on top, and then basically you use your thumbs to sort of slowly creep it in. And this is very hard to describe over audio, but this is how I pack my pipes every time, and it's the best way I've found, but it's definitely harder than the original way.
Right. I've never heard of that method.
It's
interesting.
I got it on that again, YouTubing it years and years ago. It's someone's name, method, Frank's method, John's method, something like that. And it's really good because it's and then you keep basically using your thumb and you slowly knead almost like bread this tobacco in very, very gently until you get the correct draw, and that's the sort of the resistance you get as you inhale, and once you've got that draw right, you're good to go.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I generally it just stays lit better. I generally smoke it all the way to the bottom easier,
right,
and that tends to be the best way for me.
Fantastic. I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to give it a go at the weekend and report back. Yeah, I always just use the 3-pack method, and it just always seems to work pretty well. I mean, it's just with sort of tobacco that's not got any sort of chemicals in it, like pipe tobacco. You usually find that you have to relight it a few times anyway, don't you? Just because it's, there's no chemicals there keeping it lit, so you've got to sort of keep it lit. But
especially if it's depending, I think you'll find that if you're just smoking and you're not having a chat with someone or doing something else, you'll probably find it a little bit easier to keep it going for longer. You'll still have to relight it once or twice, I would imagine, but it's especially when you start concentrating on something else. Yeah, it goes out a lot easier. It's a lot. I think it goes out easier than a cigar.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Nice. Thanks for Greg's tidbit of the day. So I did something rather silly yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I went down to the beach, Hove Beach to be precise, and went for a swim in the sea. And
Amazing.
It was bloody freezing.
I love it, mate. So how cold are we talking here? Because I'm assuming you've done something similar before in other beaches and other waters.
Where
are we ranking it?
I mean, it's up there for sure. It's up there. I mean, we were quite lucky in terms of the weather just outside. I mean, the temperature wasn't too bad for the end of November, and it was quite still. There was no wind, and the sun even poked out a couple of times while we were down there. So it was like decent conditions. But like as soon as you like strip off, you're in your swimmers, like you get chilly. Like the goosebumps are straight up, and you have to run straight in basically because there's no way you can just put your toe in. You would, no way. You talk yourself out of it immediately. So we all sort of just like powered in, like jumped in, and it probably takes you about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to just to control your breathing basically, because it's that sort of that sort of coldness, But, like your skin's like stinging. We've not got any wetsuits on or anything or dry suits or anything like that. It's just just swim shorts. But everyone I was sort of with was saying like different parts of them were hurting. Like my calves really started hurting immediately, and like a guy's like arms, elbows were stinging. Like somebody else's, just different parts. Like they felt the cold on different parts basically, which was just interesting. It must have been a circulation thing, but. You feel alive, man. It's great. It's good fun. I'm not the sort of thing that I'd get into regularly. I know it's quite popular at the moment. That Wim Hof guy is like always on about it, but don't get me started on that guy. But I just did it because it was a good laugh. Like run in, get really cold, swim about, jump out, and then I immediately got the hip flask out. I got the coffee out, hip flask, the homemade donuts, and was just wrapping up, and jobs are good, and then fish and chips on the way back.
Perfect.
But, it was a nice little thing to do. Bit of lockdown exercise, and that was it really. Just a fun day out.
That sounds great. I love that. Having like planning a whole day around a specific idea. Yeah. Like I want to jump in the sea. Okay, cool. Let's go to this place at this time, and then we'll get fish and chips after, and we'll bring some drinks and some coffee and stuff. Yeah, love it. Sounds like such a great idea.
Nice and wholesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, I want to do in a similar vein when the government permits me to do what I want and lets me be a free individual for once. I want to go to Switzerland or somewhere similar in the snow. I want to go in a sauna for at least 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I want to jump in the snow naked.
Oh, mate, so good, so good.
I've never done that, and I hear it's pretty spectacular.
I've done it once. Yeah. Similar sort of thing. Yeah, I was on a gig at one of these sort of chalet places, and earlier in the day before the gig, exactly as you described. Yeah, he's sitting in the hot tub, and then you think, you know what? I could jump outside in the snow.